Hi, I'm Dave Barnes.
And I'm John McLaughlin.
And welcome to Dadville.
Dadville is a podcast where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of awesome dadding.
It's funny thoughts and deep talks.
So please, enjoy your time here in Dadville and enjoy this episode with
Dave and me. John.
Found the masterpiece in you.
Wow.
No idea where
that's how we're starting. I would love to know. I would love to know where and why that came from.
Isn't that funny? Like, I don't even know.
That's like
that wasn't
R&B
in my
song.
brain until I heard me say, and then I'm like, my brain is like,
oh,
going through the files, like, oh, that sounds like this song that you haven't heard in 12 years.
It feels like every skating rink song that has literally ever happened. Dadville today, we're here with John McLaughlin, and let's just get
Am I the guest?
Let's get into this brag sheet. And
this feels good.
It feels really good.
It's been a minute since we have done this.
Yeah.
I don't know how many months
Can we
it's
start
been.
quickly? This wasn't playing. Can we start quickly and just say that we got we were alerted to a negative comment this morning.
Yeah, we were. Thank you, Jason.
And
which I don't know if I respect it. I'm just acknowledging that it happened. That he was like, I'm going to start the guy's day this way.
Jason Shadrick, shout out to Big Shad, sent us a screenshot of a comment on a YouTube. We've been putting our Dadvilles up on YouTube, which has been great. And he just no context, just sent a screenshot of a
lengthy comment.
Very disgruntled listener, who was not a consistent listener. She was
not anymore.
She had flown in for one episode, and boy, she really let us know how she felt. And it is
I just pulled it up. It's a very long comment, and she ends it. Her in a nutshell, her issue was
it's all me. Can we say that?
I'm going to say we.
No, don't say
but
we.
Just know that I mean Dave.
Yeah, it is. None of this has to do with you or your
And maybe I would do it if I had the ability to steamroll someone with words. I just can't. The energy's not in there. She felt like we steamrolled the guest. Also, she did not love the ads that were in the episode. Fair enough.
Hey, it's fine. That's
fair enough. But she threw me because at the end there, she stated, "I will not listen to another podcast by you." Now, let me stop there and say that doesn't mean that she's not going to listen to Dadville anymore. She's just saying, should you in the future do a spin-off podcast, I've already decided I'm not interested.
Dadland.
So, but then she leaves these emojis that one of them is like rolling with laughter emoji. So I'm like, well, I don't know. Well, and also one of them is vomiting. But is the vomiting because you're laughing so hard?
Yeah, it's an interesting way to start a day. So is it in the back of my brain today? Yeah, it's floating back there. It is. I think, and we don't have to get into this, and we'll move right on. But I think the thing that I find myself thinking with those moments, I think, how did she get here? I think literally, I'm not trying to be funny. I literally think, who hurt her? Like, who made her feel?
I thought you meant like, how did she even come to listen to the episode?
Well, that I do. I mean, she was somebody who obviously Googled our guest's name, and it came up, and she found our podcast, which is great. I mean, that's my guess. That's what you hope.
Yeah.
For new listeners, but this is how my brain works. I read that and I go, oh man, I feel so bad. I'm terrible at this job. I know she's talking about me. She's talking about me the whole time. So then I'm in my head about that because I do get excited. I talk over people, and that was one of her big beefs. And that's me being me. So first I'm really like sad, and I'm in my head about like everything that I'm terrible at in my life. Second thought,
and we should say, look, we want people to.
I am terrible at it.
No, we want people to leave their comments. Like we want that.
We do, yeah.
And the people who leave their comments, they're leaving their comment because they're passionate about it.
They are.
Whatever.
So that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But
people should know it affects us.
Yeah. Yes.
Jason should know. I
never
would have seen that comment.
Yeah, and he's probably
so Jason
fired.
Needs to know. I wouldn't have seen it if he hadn't sent it to me.
Yeah,
but whatever.
I never go looking for them.
No.
I mean, it's not that I went looking for that
My skin's
stuff.
too thin.
No.
It's also golden brown right now.
It's beautiful. It is sun-kissed.
And I got the tattoos,
You
but
do.
it's too thin.
It's too thin. It's too thin. And I know that about myself. So I don't ever look for them. I don't scroll down. That's not my life.
Yeah.
My life is not, unless it's something that really is helpful, a constructive criticism, which I'm not just saying this, our listeners, you guys have done.
Yeah.
People will say like, hey, whatever, like that, I didn't like this, didn't like that. I would have liked her more. That stuff is great because it actually really does help.
Yeah.
And I think this may help. Like, it makes me think like, hey, like.
Sure. But on the other side of it, someone could leave the same, like a comment on the same episodes and say like, it's just too boring. It's like you ask a question and then the guest answers.
Like, well, that's
sometimes, and which no one has said that.
Yeah.
For the record, but some of the podcasts that I listen to, I like that it's like back and forth, and to a certain degree, people are talking over each other.
Yeah.
And when we are doing interviews with people, I like it when that happens. I like it when there's an energy to it. Now, obviously, there's a time and a place. If we're talking to Stephen Curtis Chapman and he's talking about some very serious topic, I'm not going to jump in three times with some anecdote that I've got in my brain. But, it's all...
Well, but you nailed it. So I think about that. I think about, like, I literally have this thought. I'm like, what is the point of this? Like, what is she hoping, he, she, whoever, what are they trying to get from this? Because I think some people, it feels good to be mean, or it just feels like it's just fun to sort of pop off on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I think, to your point, the thing I've had to learn over and over, people usually that leave those comments actually have the deepest affinity for the thing.
Yeah, right.
And so
whatever your anger is, that's what you love.
So if I'm really healthy, I read those and I go, okay, this actually, if I can read this right, she really wanted this to be great, and it wasn't. She had high expectations, which is good, like that she saw it and went, oh, this will be good, and it wasn't. Or with music, somebody go, like, I've loved your records, I didn't love that one. It's easy to read that. It's like, this album sucks. The other way you can read that, it's like, man, they loved it so much. They were like, I'm going to take 10 minutes and sit and type this thing.
Yeah.
So I think, that. But I think ultimately, I'm just like, I don't know what they're trying to achieve. And to your point, and I mean, this has been said a million times, and I know there's like this craze right now where people are throwing things at artists at shows, and artists are finally going like, hey, stop doing that. This is our version of just saying like, it's really easy to type those things, but like, we are very real people. And it's like, even the most ridiculous of them, which kind of this one was in some ways, it stings. It stings. It feels a little bit like your kids, sort of sitting with you every couple of days and going, just quick catch up on what's not going well. And you're like, okay, here we go. Or you're like your spouse sitting down and being like, it's been a great week. 2 things that were really bad and you majorly missed on. And you're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah. And it's a testament to the power of negative feedback.
Jeez.
Like, you can have 99 positive comments and one scathing comment, and you are leaving with the one comment.
That's a global truth.
Yeah.
That is a global truth. Forget artistry. I mean, that's just like your life, job, review, marriage, anything that has critique. It's something about us, our fallen selves, attaches itself to that truth that I am messed up. I'm flawed. And so
especially as artists, not to like, be woe as us, but it's like we already have that voice in our head that's like, we're terrible. Everything we do is terrible. Why did I say that? Why did I sing that?
Yeah. So we're coming at but you know what, guys? This is us turning the corner, okay? Because we're mature. We take that criticism.
Yeah.
And we hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's how our day started.
That's how our day started.
We just wanted to be vulnerable.
I was not ready for that. I literally grabbed the phone, saw that he had texted and was like, oh, okay. I know he meant this for good, but Satan's trying to use it for evil. And
I think the way that Jason meant it was oh, this is hilarious. I'm going to send it to the guys,
We just need to find a review of like some show he's played in and just send it to him. And be like, isn't this funny? The guitar player was too loud. And we're like,
hilarious.
So, John, let's give him a check-in.
Let's check in.
Let's do a check-up from the neck up. Catch us up. When was the last time?
Am I going first?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well, the last time that we did this, just the two of us, it was a long time ago. So, I mean, the check-in definitely spans the summer at this point.
Yeah.
which I have to say the summer overall has been great. Every summer to me starts out with about 48 hours of like, oh, summer's here.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
Here we go.
And then I feel like a bunch of things are thrown at me. And then, I get knocked down and then I stand back up and it's August 2nd.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wait, we got to
Annie's
go
birthday.
buy some
Is that why you said that?
backpacks. Yeah.
You always get backpacks on Annie's birthday.
Annie's birthday. That's our thing. Yeah.
That's how we celebrate Annie. We know the weight that she's carrying around in the world.
I know her love language.
You do. He loves backpacks.
It's a JanSport.
I did have a. I did have. I wonder if every adult. Here's me coming in, just lava hot. I wonder if other people relate to this. I had a moment where my thing was backpacks. Like when I was online, I would find myself just like researching backpacks.
Like what? When was
just
this
like
in your life?
computer bags. A decade ago.
Oh.
12
Computer
years ago.
bags. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe I can find one that's a little more tailored to my life.
Yeah.
But it was I found myself doing it over months.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I just kind of had dead time, I'd be like, let's look up some backpacks. And
Yeah.
I was like, why?
I get that. There was a time where it was like we were all wearing diesel jeans and wearing those in-case backpacks. Because it was like sort of new that you could like bring your laptop with you and have your headphones right in that little
that's
pocket.
That's a good. Well, in Apple, that's exactly right. Apple would be doing some new thing like, we gotta have a pocket for that. Like
Where's
this
the
backpack
separate
doesn't
pocket
work
for that?
anymore.
I can't put that in with my charger. Like
You remember like how
surf?
revolutionary it was when they added the little in-between computer pocket?
Yeah.
That was like, what?
Yep.
Like it has a pocket in there.
Laptops
just
are
for
here to stay.
Oh
That's what
my
I said
gosh.
when I saw that.
You
Laptops are here to stay.
did.
But the summer has been great. I will say that a very real element of our life is we did some construction on our house, and we lived in the house during the construction.
Yeah.
And so our upstairs is just the girls.
It's Reno, Nevada over there.
Reno, Nevada. Wow.
Did you like that?
I love that. Reno, Nevada. There's someone listening that's like, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
What's the joke?
What's so fun about Reno? I was there last month with my guys. We do our yearly trip out there.
So the upstairs was this old, our house is super old. It was this old like converted attic, and it was just one room, and it was time. The girls had been living up there, just the two of them in one room. You're
making it sound like it's like they had a different way they got in and they lived
I
their
know.
own
Well,
life
it kind of
up there.
feels that way, especially now.
It's
But it's like the floor is at like a 45-degree angle. I mean, it was time. They've been living up there for 7 years, and it was time. So we did this renovation, and all this to say, we lived in it during the 6+ months that we did it. And so the girls are sleeping in our front room where there's a pull-out couch, and one of them is on a blow-up mattress. And all their clothes are in laundry baskets.
Like her spine is like
forever
changed.
And I want to paint the picture of just our life over the last 6 months. Like there's construction, there's dust everywhere. There's like that paper, the like contractor paper all over everything. Anytime that we need to find a shirt for school or whatever, you're getting it out of a laundry basket. Which there is no way, it's impossible to, unless it's at the very top of the laundry, you have to dump the whole thing out to get something.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the room is so tiny that you're like backing up against the wall no matter what you do. You're stepping on Legos everywhere. It's just, it's been a time.
But like maybe today, is it like as of today potentially that it's done?
Well,
Yes.
we're at the phase where just the other day, the guys came and like took all that contractor paper away.
That's a huge day.
That's a big day. Yeah, and they like took all the stuff down. There's still like the little things where like the handrail up the stairs is not on there yet. We gotta scan it.
Yeah.
Little things like that. But the girls are up there. Their clothes are still in the laundry baskets. I mean, when we can put clothes in a dresser, it's gonna be
game over.
I think I'm gonna cry.
The helicopter pad looks amazing.
It's not. It's still at that 45-degree angle though, which that's for nostalgia purposes. I wanted it that way. It's not up to code, but I wanted it that way. I wanted some remnant of the past.
A 45. Tom Cruise is hearing that, and he's like, "That's going to be the next Mission Impossible. I can land that. I can
base a whole plot off that."
That is hysterical. It does look good. I mean, it's funny, like being in there. I'm so excited because it just feels like. I mean, the thing, I don't know, how everybody feels hearing this and where you live, but the trick of living in 12 South in Nashville is it's a lot of bungalow homes that like are really cool vibey homes, but
and the rules around what you can do
are very specific.
Yeah.
There's a lot of historic overlay in our neighborhood, so like it has to go through this council, and then they basically say if you can or can't do certain kinds of changes.
Yeah.
So you're really limited on what you can do.
Yeah.
And so it just makes for y'all's project tricky because it's like, you have your house, you have the bones, so then it's like we need more room. How do you make more room out of this? And y'all have done two that have been so smart how you've done it because y'all have added to your bedroom and the closet, the bathroom, and just y'all. And now you added sort of a second story that you did, you kind of had like a half. So it's really fun to see it happen. And it feels like walking around out there. It's just like, this is the room. This is it. It's happening. It's all happening. Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, you seem tired. Did you get enough sleep? Everything okay?
Look, you know all too well that #DadLife copyright to you. Sometimes it doesn't align with #sleep.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
But I'm just to make sure, did you turn into a millennial like right in front of my eyes with all the hash browns you were using on those words? You heard me. Look at the hash browns. Did you like that? Did you like that?
Look, if it helps me get more sleep, I would happily dive feet first, because feet first time, into any social media trend I can find. But mostly it was just going back and forth with the kids last night, trying to get them to sleep.
Well, listen, John, if bedtime is more like a blanket battle or a snooze stalemate, do you see what I'm doing there?
You are on fire.
We are a part of Alliteration Nation. Between you and your children, you need to add the Hatch Rest to your bedtime toolkit.
That's right. Dave, did you know that the Hatch Rest is an innovative, all-in-one sleep device designed just for kids? It's both a sound machine and a nightlight that grows with your children.
Yeah, and there's some people out there, and they're rubbing their eyes as they say it. There's like a Pavlovian response as we talk about Hatch. Did you know this, John? During the newborn stage, Hatch helps make for a soothing and comfortable sleep environment with continuous sounds like white noise, wind, rain, and lullabies, just to get them to sleep.
I gotta use the Hatch.
Yeah.
There's nothing like sleeping through a fake rainstorm.
We call it a feign storm.
A feign storm.
Yeah. The Rest has helped over 3 million babies and parents, which is, I would assume, is a lot more than 3 million babies if it's parents.
It takes two.
Yeah.
Parents,
Get restful sleep. It's no wonder that it's consistently a top baby registry item.
Did you know, Dave, that right now Hatch is offering our listeners up to 15% off their first order of a Hatch Rest and free shipping at hatch.co/dadville.
So, if you're ready for improved sleep for your kids and yourself, and I don't want to meet
Who isn't? I don't want to hang out with the people who aren't.
I do just ask some questions about how they're achieving their perfect sleep. But if you're ready for that improved sleep, again, for your kids and yourself, go to hatch.co/dadville to get up to 15% off and free shipping.
That's amazing. And now, napping on the go, which I know you love to do, it's simple with Hatch's new portable kids sound machine. So go to hatch.co/dadville and go to sleep.
Johnny, he's a man doing manly things today. All the time. Question for you.
Started off great, but
question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How early do you start to prepare your kids for the back-to-school situation?
The day after the last day of school.
Oh, wow.
I mean, easy. There's no off-season when it comes to dadding.
I respect that. So true.
1,000 times.
Well, you know what, Johnny?
Tell me.
An essential part of back-to-school prep is heading over to Simple Modern.
Simple Modern. I was about to say that. I knew you were going to say it. Simple Modern is known for their 40-ounce Trek tumbler, which Luca walks around with every step of every day now.
I see her.
But they have so much more, especially for the kids.
Okay, John, close your eyes.
They're already closed.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I guess they are.
They've been closed all
Were you
the time.
napping?
Yeah.
And imagine what type of backpack would 10-year-old John want to rock at school.
Oh.
Let's think about it. Think about
Maybe
it.
Boba Fett?
Oh, you even did the stress.
Maybe something that ties into my deep love for hockey. I love the puck.
Easy now. Listen, easy, John. You're in luck because Simple Modern has all those options and so much more. I was waiting for a Colts thing, but you were disciplined, and I respect that. You can get your gear decked out in Disney, Marvel, NFL, NHL, college sports, and even TMNT.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Turtles. There it is.
Right.
There it is.
Splinter, Shredder. What was it? Bebop,
Ricardo.
Rocksteady. I knew it would come to me.
You had it.
The best part is that they give 10% of their profits to nonprofits that are committed to causes like solving the water crisis, fighting human trafficking, education, not fighting education, but helping education, ending homelessness, and helping underprivileged communities.
Yes. So head on over to simplemodern.com/Dadville, and by sharing your email, you'll get a unique discount code just for you.
Just for me.
Yeah.
Or
everybody.
You can bundle and save for the back-to-school times. This should be your go-to brand for your family.
That's right. That's simplemodern.com/Dadville.
I mean, I am so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Like when we moved into our house 7 years ago, we had a little hallway that, like you're saying, we had to retrofit into Amy and my closet.
Yep.
So our closet is an old hallway.
Yep.
And Luca has it in her head, which I love this because when I was a kid, I had my thing that like if there was a house that had like pillars of any kind, that meant it was, oh, those people are rich. Any kind of pillars. Just for whatever reason, I was like, dang, that's a nice house. For her, it's like, we need a hall. We don't have a hallway. She's like, I just want a house with a hallway.
That is hysterical.
Just
That's
such
her
a
thing.
random
well,
thing.
This the second.
We've got a hallway now.
Yeah, it satiates her.
Her bedroom door is in a hallway. So to her, it's like,
she's like,
I don't even need to go in the
like,
room.
Dad, did you get a new job?
Did you get a job?
Do you think our kids maybe think like that? Do you think they really?
1,000%.
If we went and got like a, whatever, a 9 to 5, do you think our kids would literally say, "Oh, you got a job"?
Do you know what? I wish I could remember the exact quote that Livy said the other day. Livy is getting so funny. Okay, so they needed me to do. The girls were like, "Can we?" It's probably like, "Can we walk to the corner store?" Because there are puppies in that store down there, and they love to walk down and see the puppies. And Amy said, they were like, "Daddy, can you walk down with us?" And Amy was like, "Daddy's got to go do some work stuff," because I had a Zoom call or something like that. And Amy was like, "Daddy's got to go do something for work." And Livy goes, "I bet it's not that important."
Oh my gosh. I'm convinced Livy will write for SNL.
Oh,
like that's
if she continues on this trajectory.
Yeah, or like the Larry David show or something, because you're
so
dry.
Funny.
She's potentially drier than you are.
Oh, she's so funny.
She's
anyway,
really funny.
So yeah, so we actually, to get back to my earlier point where like summer starts out like it's going to be chill, and then it's always too busy, and we have, we're going to visit family here, and then we're going to visit some friends here or whatever. Because of everything that's going on, I told Amy, I was like, we had a trip planned and we canceled it because I was like, we have to tighten up a little bit. Like, and I'm so for that reason, I'm like, it's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, the summer has been like what I kind of want our girls to have the summer that I always remembered me having, which is like, you go to the pool every day, every day.
Yeah.
And you go swim at the pool every day. Like, what do you mean? What are we going to do today?
Yeah.
My swimsuit, I slept in it. We're going to the pool.
Our life is aquatic.
Yeah.
Summer is an aquatic lifestyle.
Yeah. So we've gone to the pool a lot, and this is a whole other thing, but Livy, for some reason, is not into the pool. She doesn't. 9 times out of 10, she doesn't want to go. Yesterday, Luca went with your kids to the pool. Mm-hmm. Livy stayed home.
Well, I think they have a beef. There's like a
that's why I said it's a whole other thing.
Yeah, to me, you measured as a kid summers by how much pool was involved.
Yeah,
or lake or something.
Just any kind of water. I want to be in water.
Yeah, water.
I want to have goggles on.
Yes.
First day of school, I want to have rings around my eyes from the goggles that I was wearing all summer.
Yes.
Or just still have the goggles on.
Either way is fine.
Yeah.
Both play.
But it's been great. It's been a great summer. How about you?
Yeah, it's
You've
funny.
been busy this summer.
Yeah, it's been there's kind of, I feel like, gradations to the summer. Did you like that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Reno, Nevada.
Thank you. Reno. That did make me laugh. I was proud of that joke. Something that we haven't talked a lot of. Well, let me say this first. It's always kind of funny to me, like when I check in with Annie about these kind of things. Because like last night we're going to bed and I was like, hey, John and I are doing, John and Dave, it's just us. We're going to do kind of like catch up. Like, how would you describe our summer? She's like, oh, it's been hard. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I literally walked in the closet and was like, man, that wouldn't have been my answer.
Yeah.
Now, that's a personality thing globally, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, if you're an Enneagram person, I'm a 7. I'm kind of everything has always got a little bit of a sunny, cloudy disposition, even, or I'm trying to find it at least, And it really, I say that because it was good for me to think that way. And I think as we do this check-in, I mean, again, like I was about to say a second ago, we haven't really talked about this at length, and I know we will, and so we don't need to do it now. But, with the kids being at Covenant with what happened, in March, and, for those who are listening, there was a school shooting and casualties, and my kids were there, and it was awful. And you can read more about it online. But I think it has obviously tempered the summer significantly because I think the kids are, we will for years be kind of exhuming these things in their bodies, this trauma. And so in some ways it's been like, I'm thankful for it because we've had a break, we're just kind of out of school because, and again, I'm sure most of you don't know. So when that happened, we were out of school for, 2 or 3 weeks, and then we went back to a different school in Nashville. A really, really amazing church let us use their facilities. So, it was amazing. It was such a blessing, and I'm so glad we got to finish the school year. But, it was just disorienting.
Yeah.
And you'd walk into the school, and there'd be 10 therapy dogs, which was so fun.
Yeah.
There were cops and security everywhere every day. Counselors just on hand, which all that stuff is incredible,
right?
And game changing because so many kids would walk out of class in the middle of class and just need to sit with a dog, or walk around with a counselor who would go, "Hey, come, let's talk," and they just walk the grounds. And of course, the security was incredible, but it's just disorienting. It's really like even as a parent walking through, it's just like this isn't our school. This isn't where.
Well, yeah, and the 3 weeks that you guys were just out of school.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's disorienting for their schedule,
right.
But also it's like no one is acting like they used to act.
Yeah.
In the community in a really great way.
Yeah.
You have 1,000 examples of how the community and businesses and neighbors and friends it was like you guys were just being showered with stuff every day.
Yeah.
I mean, your guys' field day.
Oh my gosh.
It was like every professional team.
Like I kept thinking, if Jesus is here, this is like
he's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna
Ryan
know.
Tannehill is here. He's gonna be. Jesus is chucking 400 yarders, and nobody's even looking. but I did think I was gonna say it could have been him coming back, and we might have missed it. That's how good that day was. That's so funny. This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. John.
Dave.
What was the last thing you learned about yourself?
Could have been that I really respond well to improv prompts like that.
Yes, touche.
Or probably the most important thing is that therapy is really helpful.
Yeah. You know where we're going with this. You see where I'm going with this. BetterHelp is an online therapy service that connects you wherever you are on tour, vacation, or even on a cruise ship, John.
It's a great way to learn better coping skills and how to communicate more effectively and even how to turn the temp down on daily stress.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, some days you just need to find a way to get your feelings out.
Yeah, I would recommend it to anyone interested in giving therapy a try. Head over to betterhelp.com. It's convenient, flexible, and it fits with anyone's schedule.
All you do is fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can move to a new therapist anytime you want.
Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp.
Visit betterhelp.com/dadville today and get 10% off your first month.
That's betterhelp.com/dadville. That has to be disorienting on another level.
Yeah, there was just a lot. So anyway, I think going into the summer, I think we were glad for just kind of a break from that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think there has been a very real low level hum of like, our kids just aren't themselves.
Mm-hmm.
From being sick more than they've ever been to like just how they are, just how they're handling life, how I think there's a real need for control in all of them. And so it manifests in some really interesting ways with their personalities. And then, with Annie and I, just like us being sad and tired. And so I would say it's sort of been two things. And I'm really glad Annie brought that up because the way my brain works is that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm not sort of like going, man, I know it has been, but that's just not where I go. I go like, man, think of the fun
You're
stuff
trying to
we've done.
look forward
Yeah.
and move away.
And so I think, half of it has been a real, I have been gone, which I'll talk about in a second, but like, so like June, I was gone most weekends. And like, that was a really hard month for Annie because she's kind of solo parenting and not just with kids who are normally wonderful, but also little punk kids.
Yeah.
She's dealing with traumatized kids.
Yeah.
And so it's like that has all the stuff it has around it. So I think one part is it's been like, it's been heavy. It's like Annie did this incredible thing. I mean, she is just magical. And I think it's one of the things about her personality and who she is that just like makes me want to weep. But she threw a birthday party for Hallie, our friend who, passed in that day, and it's some of our closest friends' daughter. And it was her idea to do it, and the way she did it was just beautiful. And for all these people came by and they honored her. It was just gorgeous. But like, I think the thing that's been so tricky about the summer is all of these things are so heavy still. It's like this beautiful day, and all these people helped it happen, and people gave food, like restaurants gave food. It was incredible. Again, to your point, the communities came around, and our friends Chad and Jada were so blessed by it, but it's hard. It's like it's a lot of crying, it's a lot of sadness, it's a lot of joy, but it's just heavy. Like you can't escape the weight of it all.
Yeah.
And I think we won't for a long time. So I think that's been a part of the summer, is just kind of feeling like everything has this extra added weight, you know. But I think at the same time, like we were able to go to the beach, which was really fun because we had some friends let us stay at their place in 30A, and we've done some really fun stuff that has been great. We've done, and I think this is a very obvious statement, but I think I have probably particularly enjoyed this summer because I think it's made me so much more mindful of the kids. Like I've never been more like thankful for them. I think with in light of what happened. So I have felt a real sense of like, I've felt especially intentional. I've felt especially like we went and floated the Harpeth, which is so much fun. We've done with y'all. And, like I'm just doing a lot more like, God, I'm glad to be here. Look at the kids are laughing. I'm so thankful for that. So I think, so as hard as it's been, it's also been, it's had that sort of shimmer to it too, because I think I've just been like, God, I'm glad that I'm just a lot more mindful. So I think that's been a good part of it. Been out doing the shows with Lady A, which has been really fun. I've got to tell this story, and then this can bring us to a beautiful conclusion. So Mark, who is their road manager, who is a friend of mine from a billion years ago, he was out with One Republic for forever. Funny, good friend. So I was excited when I was doing the shows anyway, but he was like...
By the way, all I need to know about this guy is this story.
This story. Okay.
This tells me so much about this guy.
He's awesome. He's been such a fun part of these shows, is because we get to hang out and have fun, and he's great. So we play these 3 shows in Florida, and as you know, that drive back is really long.
Yeah.
So like we're in Miami area and Fort Lauderdale. And, mostly what happens is the crew will either just fly back, or because it's a long drive. I mean, that's 15 hours, 14 hours. It's a long drive. Yeah. And so you have to get 2 drivers because a driver can only drive for 8 hours. And so it's all these things, right? Yeah. So they come to me and they're like, hey, you're more than welcome to fly back. You can take the bus. We'll leave at probably 10 o'clock tonight, but we won't be home till probably midday tomorrow, maybe 2, 3. I was like, I'm fine to drive. It's fine. So Mark is like, hey, are you okay riding on Hillary's bus? Because usually I've ridden on either Charles's or Dave's, 2 guys in the van. And I was like, yeah, what's going on? He's like, well, one of the guys' birthday, one of the band guys. And so the drummer who usually rides on Hillary's bus just wanted to ride with the band because he just wanted to be with them so they could hang and celebrate the birthday together. And I was like, yeah, because I know Hillary and Chris. I mean, we've had Hill on. She's the best. She's a dear friend. And Hillary, husband, Chris is a dear friend. One of the greatest guys ever.
Yeah.
Like literally one of the greatest humans you'll ever meet. So I was like, great. So Mark is like, small side. I'm sort of giving away this whole thing, but it's hard not to laugh. Small side, they do a Sunday morning kind of worship thing on the bus, and I'm like, okay, like I'm down with that. I'm down with the JC, but what does that entail? He's like, like sometimes I'm ruining my laughing, but it's so funny. He's like, sometimes Chris is a drummer and used to play for Lady. He's an incredible drummer. He's like, sometimes Chris will have his cajon, and they'll just read some scripture, and Chris will give like a sermon, and I'm like on the because we're driving. He's like, yeah, just in the front lounge, and I was like, okay, and I probably need to go. He's like, I mean, I would, it's cool to do it. He's like, it can get a little intense, and I'm like,
which that's a great element,
and I'm like,
it can get a little intense,
and I know them well. I know them well. I was like, what do you like? What's intense? He's like, it's just, it can get a little intense, like the songs, and just it gets a little intense. And the fact that he won't name it is really troubling to me because I'm like, I'm stuck. Like if I'm in that front lounge and I don't know, is somebody speaking in tongues? I don't know what intense is.
Right.
Like, are they going to ask me to give a word?
Well, and then if I were you, I would be thinking, okay, I've already said that I'll go ahead and ride on the bus.
Yeah.
So if I change my mind now, it's because of the worship thing.
So I walk outside and I'm way in my head because I'm like, oh. So I said, Mark, can I not move? That sounds like a lot. And he's like, dude, it's okay, but you kind of got to move. Like it's just the guys need. I was like, okay. So I walk outside. The drummer and his mom, who had come to the show, he's like, hey, dude, thank you for switching. He's like, that Sunday morning thing, it's totally cool. It's pretty intense. And I'm like, I'm like. Yeah, and I'm trying to get the definition. I'm like, so what do you mean? He's like, it's just intense. It's like, it can get pretty heavy. And I'm like, okay.
A lot of baptisms.
He's like, dude, but thank you. It's just really cool. I appreciate it. And he walks inside, and I'm like, I call Annie, and I'm like, babe, I don't know what to do here. And she's like, what's going on?
Oh, wait. Did you leave out the part that is maybe the most genius?
I'm going to get there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I call Annie. I'm like, hey, babe, I don't know what to do here. I'm thinking about flying home. And she's like, you'll be fine. It's one car ride. It's Hill and Chris. I was like, I know, but like Christians can get weird, and I'm one of them. Like, I can know somebody, and you put them in that context, and it can get intense.
Yeah.
She's like, you'll be fine. Just put your head down. Walk inside. I go back into Mark's office, and I'm like, this is my last attempt to kind of like, is there any way? While we're talking, I look over and I see very nonchalantly. He's printing out praise and worship leader.
I just think the fact that he was doing that and not saying anything about it
so nonchalantly
is so genius.
It's genius, and I have to look.
Yeah,
and I'm like, guy, you're printing off a lot of stuff. He's like, yeah. Some praise and worship lyrics, and now I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, dude. Is there any? Can I ride on the band? Like, just can I? And he's like, I'm so sorry, dude. It's just this is what it is. And I'm like, and it is. I'm feeling this now. Like I'm really like I'm dreading it. I'm like, should I just ask Hillary if I can? Like, hey, can we just maybe postpone the church service until everybody gets home, and then I walk out into the hall, and I'm like, I'm in my head. Like, I'm deep in my head. And Jess, who's one of Hillary's, she does, like, styling and makeup and everything. I'm like, hey, Jess, just a word. She's like, yeah. I was like, can you tell me what's going on with this bus church thing? And she's like, oh, Dave, no, they're just joking. And I was like, I literally said, there's no way they're joking because everybody has, Dave Haywood. Had in passing, oh, dude, you're great. The church service gets a little intense. And I'm like, there's no way this is that coordinated. She's like, it's 1,000% coordinated. It was all Mark's idea. He wanted to double down on this. And so I am like, you've got to be kidding. So I'm laughing in my dressing room myself. And I'm also like, there's got to be a way for me to double down. So I walk into Mark's office. He's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Hey, man, I booked a flight home. I was like, it's expensive. It's super last minute, but I booked it home. And I booked in my hotel room I just can't do this bus thing." And he looks at me and he's like, you booked a flight? And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I can't do, it's intense and it's really making me nervous and I don't know what that means." And he's like, "But you booked a flight with your," I was like, "Yeah, and a hotel room." And he's like, "Oh man, okay." And I was like, "Gotcha." And he stood up and he was like, "Who told you?" And then he told me, he said, "Go on Hillary's." He said, "Go on Hillary's bus." So I walked out to Hillary's bus and they had put in Papyrus font prayer requests on the wall. He had just made up prayer requests and put them on the wall and had purposefully scattered all of the lyric sheets around the lounge so that I would see them.
It's so good.
Is that not
down to the font?
Oh, dude,
they had the right font.
I mean, it killed me. And I wish I could tell that story so there's not a reveal, but it's too, like, the synchronicity of the whole thing was so well executed. So then I tell Hillary, and she's crying laughing. She's like, "Dave, we had gotten wine and we were going to do," and she's like, "I was going to wake you up by pulling on your little," I was going to wake you up. She's like, "I wasn't going to let you miss it." And I was going to say, what's the song that everybody sings, like the VBS song, "Up from the Gravy Road." She was just going to dangle my little, the little sheet, the
So how far were they going to go?
Were
they going to start?
No, I think Chris was going to do like the djembe, and I was going to sit there, and I mean, probably just a cappella hymns. Like,
just him starting out with just that djembe for like 2 minutes.
I mean, let's all just close.
That's just so good.
I was like, man, and now I'm terrified about the end of the tour.
Oh, yeah. If they're doing that mid-tour?
Well, I'm just like, I can't trust him anymore about anything.
Oh, my gosh. It's so good.
So
I'm so proud of all of those people.
I know. I am too. And / I want to, like, roll their houses.
Which means toilet paper.
Yes, touche.
Not like Bull does.
Or Reno.